welcome back. It is exactly 13 after 12 o'clock. Our next guest is Nandika Shamini, Head of Brand and PR for Primestars and YouthStart Foundation. And we are going to be looking at a campaign, and it asks the all important question, hashtag what about the boys? Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you here. And when I saw that I was interviewing you and the hashtag is what about the boys, immediately what came to mind was the Salsia, I think it is, a promotion that they did many, many years ago. I think it was their CSI corporate social investment strategy. And they introduced Take a Girl Child to Work. And I always wondered, what about the boys? And here you guys come up with it. How did this all come about? And good on you to ask the all important question, what about the boys? Because if anything, I think there's a lot of education and awareness that needs to go into our boy children.
Yes, thank you so much. Good afternoon to everyone. It's actually quite funny that you bring up the South Sea Take a Girl Child to Work Day because our founder and managing director, Mr. Martin Sweet, is the one that championed the South Sea Take a Girl Child to Work Day. He started
Wow.
it with South Sea.
Wow.
And
And he realized something needs to be done for the boys as well.
yes. So when coming up with the program, What About the Boys? We saw a gap in sort of the fight against GBV in terms of there was a lot of focus on women and the girl child and empowering women and the girl child, rightfully so. But Martin Sweet and Nkosanachi Moshwana, who is our COO, wanted to focus on the boy child and bringing the boy child into the fight against GBV because in terms of gender-based violence and the focus on that and the fight against that, there was a lacking in the focus on the boy child. And these, males are the main perpetrators of gender-based violence. So it was taking it back to the boy child and what is the underlying seeming causes of gender-based violence and why it leads to violence. And it was a lot of research was done, a lot of dialogue was done in coming up with this program, and it all boiled down to the definition of what it means to be a man and what it means, what is masculinity. And there were some notions that were seemingly toxic in that boys don't show emotion, boys don't cry, boys are taught to dominate. They are taught to not, and they're not fully cognizant of the challenges faced by women and the girl child. So, in order to amplify the fight against GBV, there was a need to empower the boy child alongside empowering the girl child and women. And so, What About the Boys was born or come up with. In 2022, this program was launched and it really has taken off. It really has amplified. And we hope it will, God willing, continue to amplify. And it creates a safe space for boys to open up about the challenges they face in society, bullying, lack of a positive male role model. And we have a mentorship aspect with the program that helps these boys relate to men and talk about what it means, what in their terms means to be a good man, to speak about the LGBTQI community and acceptance of that, and also be cognizant of the gender-based violence and what it means and how we can change the narrative. So we're redefining masculinity in more positive terms.
As the PR and brand manager, how are you positioning this campaign to reach young men effectively? There have been so many campaigns over the past while, and despite all of those campaigns and awareness programs, we're still seeing lots of GBV issues, femicide, and this whole toxic masculinity playing out. What needs to shift? How do we make this change happen?
My answer to that is just awareness, awareness, awareness. So when we started this program, we started engaging with boys. So we engage with high school boys, grade 8 to 12, and mainly in under-resourced, overlooked communities. And that is where we wanted to start, because it's a good place to start. It's a good place to bring it to back home. So, in a South African perspective, and I think what has been nice about the program is that we had support from the presidency in 2023, August 2023. President Cyril Ramaphosa did come and have a dialogue with our boys at cinema at Moponya Mall. And there's a lot of corporate involvement in our program because we're NPO, we're fully funded. So and it's enabled us to reach more beneficiaries, but it needs to be amplified even more because there's so many important dialogues that need to happen. And we've seen an increase in our mentorship movement. We have a mentorship movement that runs alongside with the program. And it's really nice to see men getting involved in, engaging with our young men on the ground and speaking to them about healthy narratives of masculinity. And in terms of my campaign, it's, driving the narrative of raising a nation of good men. So on my social media platforms, which we are on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, X, it's hashtag raising a nation of good men, hashtag what about the boys, hashtag redefining masculinity. And it's really nice in that partners such as Markham have come on board, and they've come out with a range of t-shirts called "What About the Boys," with "What About the Boys" and redefining masculinity and raising a nation of good men on the t-shirts and sweaters that they've come out with. And every time someone purchases that, they get full knowledge of what they are contributing to, because a portion of the sales come back into the program for us to amplify it across all 9 provinces. And it's really nice in that the corporates that are involved, they have their employees and executives become part of the mentorship. So they get trained on how to be mentors. They do dialogues with the boys in school and at cinema. And that's just really how we're driving the narrative, and we're getting to learn what challenges our boys are facing. They get a good men's guide, which is this here, and we do pre-assessments and post-assessments. And through the pre and post-assessments and the mentorship sessions, you really get a sense of how can we further help the boys that are involved in the program and what challenges they face. We're actually coming out with a report this year, which will detail 3 years of findings through the program in the challenges faced by our boys, the shift in the narrative, what more can be done, what more can be amplified, and really pinpointing the pain points that our boys are experiencing. And this is in no way to detract from the focus on women and the girl child. It's to move alongside it.
Okay, what comes to mind as you were speaking there is it seems as if lots of awareness is happening through the work that you guys are doing, but you are only reaching boys at school, and I should imagine tertiary as well. Um, the education system does play a huge role in supporting this movement. But we also know that we have a huge unemployment problem in the country. And I'm wondering about those boys that are loitering on the street corners who are so disillusioned that they're unemployed, that they can't provide for families, or they can't have a meaningful say and place in the
In
family
society.
structure. And that then leads them to very that leads them to end up being dropouts, being gangsters, and all of those very sad stories. And that's where we see the toxicity manifesting in a very, very big way. Any plans to try and target that that section of the community? I think it's so sorely needed there as well.
Yes, so Primestars and the YouthStart Foundation actually run a variety of youth development, youth empowerment initiatives. And when we engage with these boys as part of the What About the Boys program, where we see a need for or a need in a specific community to guide them on career choices, help them with their math and science marks. They are pinpointed for specific programs that we have running. We have 7 youth empowerment programs running at the moment that deal with unemployment, career guidance, math and science revision for matrics. We have Step Up to a Startup, which is our entrepreneurship program, which guides them create their own businesses, come up with an idea that deals with a specific problem faced in their communities. So we try and have as much of holistic support as we can as part of our programs. And with that comes the importance of, us amplifying and being able to reach more young boys, more young girls in every community across South Africa.
Nandika, I'm kind of wondering, how do you ensure that your campaign doesn't silence female voices while focusing on the boys?
So we don't seek to silence female voices. We are actually for the 3 years that we had What About the Boys running, we wanted to focus on the boys. But they from this year forward, when we start implementation, we are bringing girls into the conversation as well. We are starting a new program that's in the works. I'm not going to say anything about that now because it will be officially launched later this year. But the plan was always to start with the boy child and then incorporate the voices of the girl child into the conversation, because remember, it all goes back to empowering and amplifying alongside. So don't detract, but rather enhance and amplify together. And that is the best way we feel will help in the fight against gender-based violence. We are bringing in female mentors into the program this year, into sort of nurture and guide boys on, from a female perspective. We had male mentors for the first 3 years. That was very much on purpose, or strategic, so that we wanted to, once we came out with this report, then we'd start bringing a more female narrative into the conversation with our young men, so that they get both perspectives in terms of masculinity and what it means to be a man. It is important to hear from both a male role model and a female role model.
So I'm wondering challenges you might have faced, you and the organization, uh, when addressing GBV issues from a male focused angle. What are what are the type of narratives they come up with? She made me do it. It's her fault. She asked for it.
It's
She asked for it.
expected. It
Yeah.
is. We do come up with, in engaging with the boys and in the conversations, you do get that narrative of, she asked for it. It was, I had the right to, I didn't. This is what I've been taught. This is what it means to be a man. And it was in engaging with them, sort of gently guiding them to a more positive notions of the challenges that they faced. A lot of it was also understanding the challenges that females face and understanding from a female narrative, but from a male perspective. So our mentors would speak to them about, but this girl will feel pressured. Do you think she feels pressured? And it's sort of guiding the narrative to more positive notions, making our boys understand that, they are in themselves empowered to help in the fight against GBV, and guiding them to know that you don't have to dominate a woman in order to be a man. You can cry. You can accept a person, or someone that is part of the LGBTQI community. It doesn't make you less of a man to do so. And it was just guiding them on empowering themselves, really. Um, and in empowering themselves, understanding what it means to be fully accepting of others, and not, and when they deal with situations such as bullying, or, this narrative that they have to be in a certain way in order to be considered a man. It was dealing with those narratives, and gently guiding them on a more positive path, on in accepting and fully inhabiting their masculinity.
So this all happens, as you've indicated, at specific venues, and the young men are invited to attend. You mentioned Maponya Mall. You mentioned the cinema. schools, etc. We, whenever and wherever you see an opportunity to showcase um, the organization and create awareness for these young men, that is where you would place yourself. What I wonder about and worry about as well is you get these young men come into these workshops and spend some time going through all of this awareness, but they go back home to a very patriarchal environment. And remember, dad perhaps and granddad and uncles probably living in an extended home, extended family situation, all have very patriarchal views. And here's this 12-year-old or 15-year-old or 16-year-old up against all of these men. How are they going to break that? How are they going to break through? Because the older men are so set in their ways and
Yes.
they don't know different. So I think that is the challenge, is it not?
It is a challenge. It is a challenge, and that is why we don't. So our model is we showcase our teachings in form of theaters of learning. So we have a movie made that deals with that showcases it. It's called edutate. We like to call it the edutainment model or edutrainment model. And we actually take them to cinema for schools out of cinema reach. We take the cinema to the school, so they watch the movie. They then get this good men guide, and we don't stop there. Yes, they do have a mentorship session after they watch the movie and after they fill in the pre-assessment. But in terms of our support for these young men, it doesn't stop there. We actually go into the schools and have mentorship sessions with them that are ongoing. We have about 6 to 8 mentorship sessions, and they have all of our contact details. We open up and give them avenues for support in terms of the different helplines that are available to them, the CPF numbers, all of that, so that if they have, and our doors are always open in terms of if they need the continued support afterwards. It is there for them. So we create these safe spaces for them to come and talk about it. So they'll watch the movie, they'll get the book, they'll go back home, they'll engage with their families, as you say, their uncles, their fathers, their grandfathers, and then if they have any, and they come back to us with the ongoing mentorship sessions, and it's that consistent dialogue and narrative that we engage with. So that if they come back to us to say, but my dad said this or my grandfather said this, it's not negating what they are being told at home. It's sort of saying, okay, dad said this, but let's look at it in another perspective. And it's just giving them the choice of, you have two sets of narratives that you are being given, a positive one and a seemingly not so positive one. And it's not negating what your dad is saying, but maybe let's look at it from a different perspective. And then it gives them the sort of, empowers them to sort of have the choice to choose for themselves and not
Okay,
just be,
to hopefully give them the critical thinking skills
yes.
regarding all of your awareness programs. We're going to have to leave it there. I think it's amazing work you guys are undertaking. Is this happening throughout Gauteng or throughout the country?
So we run in all 9 provinces,
Oh,
and
wow.
we also have a digital platform for anyone that wants to join up, watch the movie, get the book, and then they can contact us if they want to be part of our mentorship sessions. It's primestarsdigital.co.za, or they can contact us at info@primestars.co.za, or you can contact me directly. I am Nandika at primestars.co.za, and then we'll bring you into our ecosystem. For any company that wants to join, anyone that wants to become a mentor, or any boy that wants to be a good man. I mean, if they were, we are hashtag raising a nation of good men, so anyone can get involved, and we
Absolutely.
encourage anyone and everyone to get involved.
Wonderful, wonderful indeed. Thank you, Nandika Shamini, for talking to us. You are the head of brand and PR. You are head of brand and PR for Prime Stars. I got that right.
It's a
Thank you indeed.
mouthful, I know. Thank you very much.
Lovely talking with you. Go well. God bless.
God bless. Bye.
12:33. This is the Mid Morning Show, and we're going to be wrapping up with our final interview, and that is with Mlungisi Nkosi, founder of Mlungisi Nkosi Maths and Science Center.